So previous to COVID, I used to host a radio show at a local radio station here in Moosonee, and then once COVID hit, the tower to the radio station no longer worked, and basically closed down for good. And in the radio station used to be hundreds, if not thousands, of records that had just been kind of sitting there for years on end. And I recently had permission to go in and check out these records. So I have some video clips of my tour of the old station, and I'm going to let you see some of the finds that I had while I was in there and what I kind of brought home with me. So stay tuned for another episode of Northern Vinyl Guy.
Up in the north, where the vinyl spin, there's a guy with a passion. Let the stories begin. Northern vinyl guy with a tale to tell, obscure and rare. He knows them well. Drop the needle, let the music fly. Discover hidden gems with Northern Vinyl Guy.
Hello everyone, it's Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy, and yeah, we've got a pretty cool video here. I'm going to show you some clips of an old radio station here in the town of Moosonee, and all the equipment and records that are still in storage in there. And as I mentioned in my intro, I was recently invited to kind of go in there and was given permission to skim through some of the old records and 45s and 33s that are in there. And so in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what I think are my highlights, what I found at the station, what I brought home with me, what I'm going to clean, check out and dial it all in. And so I actually have quite a few records here. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll check these out. Before I do though, I would like to encourage you, if you are a new subscriber, please click the subscribe button. It's always greatly appreciated. Leave a thumbs up, leave some comments down in the section below. And if you are currently subscribed to my channel, I greatly appreciate you coming back to all these videos and checking out what I find and what I have in my collection, what I've been playing lately. It's been a little bit since I've done a video. But yeah, no, I've got some, like I said, I got some cool stuff here in this episode. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some of the video clips of when I was in the station and what was in there. There was tons of CDs, like I said, tons of 45s, tons of 33s. And yeah, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I brought home with me, or at least some of the highlights from my tour. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, there are tons of CDs and 45s, 33s all over the old station there. And it was a radio station that was called CHMO. It was started back in the early 60s when the Canadian military set up a military base during the Cold War up here, CFS Moosonee. And then in the late 70s, I think it was 1975, 76, the military base closed down. And of course, all the records and stuff were donated to the community. and they still continue to play records in the 80s and the early 90s. Of course, by then they switched over to CDs, and then in the 2000s they had switched over to using MP3s and that kind of thing on the radio, downloads that were on there. And by the time I got into the radio system here in Moosonee, I was playing them off of my laptop, doing a Friday night show where I played everything from 80s and 90s, 60s and 70s, whatever it was, whatever was popular at the time. Always had different themes and stuff. And a friend of mine and I used to run, like I said, a show on Friday nights. And I always thought it would be cool to kind of gain access to these records and things of that nature. And as you are aware, I was finally able to do so. So what did I pick up during my time at the record station? Well, I had spent like 3 hours there going through mainly the 33s. I don't collect CDs anymore, and I try to stay away from the rabbit hole of the 45s. So I only focused on 33s today while I was at the station. So what did I pick up? Well, we're going to start off with a Christmas album here. A Very Merry Christmas. This one here has U2. It has Run DMC on it, the Pointer Sisters, Eurythmics, John Mellencamp, Sting, etc. Even some Bryan Adams is on there. I remember my dad had that when I was a kid on CD. And it even still has the sticker on it there, which this was to raise money for the Special Olympics. All right, we've got some Funkadelic and One Nation Under a Groove. And of course that features the title track, One Nation Under a Groove. Very cool stuff, funk music. Some Rod Stewart, Tonight I'm Yours. And what's on here? Tonight I'm Yours. What are some of the other hits that are on here? Young Turks is the big one that was on this album. Paul Hardcastle, one hit wonder with his song 19, all about the Vietnam War from the 1980s. I found 2 copies of Supertramp's Crime of the Century. This one, the cover's a little bit more beat up than the other one. Here's the second one that I got. And of course, if you know this one, you know it. Bloody Well Right, Dreamer, Crime of the Century. All great tracks on that album. A little bit of 1960s psychedelic, and the Chambers Brothers, Time Has Come Today. I've been looking for this one for quite some time. I know that it's not that uncommon, but yeah. Most of these records, the covers are a bit beat up, but the vinyl itself looked decent. I'm going to have to wait until I clean them all. None of these have been cleaned. I'm going to have to clean some of the covers as well as the vinyl itself. All right. I've never heard this particular album, Alice Cooper's Goes to Hell. I'm not too familiar with this. However, you know, I've heard some different things about that, so let me know your thoughts on Alice Cooper. A little bit of Gino Vanelli. Most of you know that I am a fan of Gino Vanelli's Storm at Sunup. The only issue with this one is, and I really am going to have to check this one out. There is a scratch that is on one of the sides, a little bit disappointing, so I'm hoping that it's not too bad of a scratch. All right, got some Village People. This one I don't have. I have 3 of their other ones. I don't think this one has anything too commonly popular. It only has 4 songs on it. San Francisco, In Hollywood, Fire Island, Village People. There you go. All right, we got some Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band with The Distance. A little bit of ring wear there. I would say a lot of ring wear on that one, but once again, the vinyl is okay. All right, I already have this album, but this one's in pretty good shape. We've got The Police and Synchronicity. Of course, this is the one that has Every Breath You Take on it. And Synchronicity. The King of Pain, Wrapped Around Your Finger. There you go. All right, Jefferson, Starships, Earth. I grabbed this one just because it looks cool. I actually don't know any of the songs on it. Haven't really heard this one. But the shiny lettering on it, very cool. right? Radio, kind of a funk band, and You Can't Change That is the hit song that is on this one, 1980s. This is their Rock On album. Pete Townsend, An Empty Glass. This is the one, Let Love, My Love Open the Door is on that one. Right. My daughter has a copy of this. Duran Duran's Rio. This is the one with Hungry Like the Wolf. What else is on this one? Rio, of course. Save a Prayer. The Chauffeur. Very cool. Now I have my own copy. Human League and Dare. This one, the sleeve had a little bit of water damage by the looks of it. This is the one that has Don't You Want Me. Love that song. Lionel Richie, self-titled. This one that has Truly. Truly is on that one. Taste of Honey. Boogie Oogie Oogie. A little bit of disco right there. Herb Alpert's Rise. Kiss, Gene Simmons. Not 100% sure what this one is, but I know my buddy Joe out there in Alberta, or in Saskatchewan, I should say. I'm sure he'll give me some feedback on that one. All right, Juice Newton and Juice, Angel of the Morning is the big track that is on this one. Very cool. Glad I picked that one up. Exile, Mixed Emotions, one hit wonder. This is the one that has Kiss You All Over on it. And of course, our own Canadian Burton Cummings, My Own Way to Rock. And of course, the title track, My Own Way to Rock, is the big single on this one. Of course, he was from Bachman Turner Overdrive. Or not Bachman Turner Overdrive, sorry. The Guess Who. Don't know why I said Bachman Turner Overdrive. All right, War's Greatest Hits. This one's got Lowrider. What else does it have here? Lowrider and Why Can't We Be Friends? Those are the big ones on here. The Band and Stage Fright. Never heard this one, but always like anything dealing with the band. All right. This one I picked up just because it looked cool. I did a little bit of research on this band. They are a Canadian psychedelic rock band called Pepper Tree. Apparently there is a, according to this, there is the hit single Try on it. So I will take a listen to that and see how psychedelic that one is. All right, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Greatest Hits Volume 1. This has Shining Star and September on it. You can't go wrong with those. All right, Bonnie Tyler and It's a Heartache. Very cool. All right, a country rock band from the 70s called Free Beer. I just thought it was cool. There's a band named Free Beer. I'll have to check that one out, see what it is, see what it's like. I already have a copy of this one, but this one is a nicer copy. This is Goose Wing's album, Songs of James Bay, or the music of James Bay. These are local artists from the 70s and 80s on this compilation. This is also another compilation, Classic Klaatu, a Canadian band. They did a cover of Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft. So, unique music there. Speaking of Canadian, a band by the name of One to One, and they had a couple of singles, hit singles here in Canada with Angel in My Pocket and There Was a Time. Those are the two big ones that are on this album. All right, Eric Clapton, Just One Night. This is a live album, by the looks of it, at Budokan. What does it say? I think it says in 1980. He was doing a tour there, 1979, 1980. So, Eric Clapton at Budokan. All right, Otis Redding and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. One's on each side. This is from the historical performances at the Monterey International Pop Festival in 1967. So, cool stuff there. Live performances. All right, George Michael and the Faith album. We all know Faith. And One More Try. Those are great songs. Monkey is another one that is on here. I Want Your Sex, Father Figure. Almost a greatest hits in one. The Faith album. All right, Simon and Garfunkel. Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. This one that has Scarborough Fair on it. And the 59th Street Bridge song. Santana's Amigos. I like Santana. Actually, I don't have any Santana in my collection, so it's kind of cool that I did pick this one. It is a gatefold. CCR's Pendulum. If you ever seen The Rain, it's the big track on that one. 2 copies of Men at Work's Business as Usual. There was the yellow sleeve. And of course, this is the album that has Who Can It Be Now, Down Under, a big hit. So anyway, like I said, that is the yellow sleeve, and I also got one with a white sleeve. Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. Of course, the title track is the big one on here. And then there's this, I believe they're from Germany. I'm going to have to research this, but I do remember that they were kind of just a unique band, and that is the band Deodato. I found 3 albums by them. This one is the Nights of Fantasy. The second one is the Prelude album, and Prelude has their song Also Sprach Zarathustra. That was their one-hit wonder kind of track. It's found on this one. So Deodato and Prelude, and then Deodato 2. So there we go. Musical Youth, 1980s one-hit wonder, and their album Past the Duchy from the Duchy pan on the left-hand side. Cool stuff. Billy Squire, Signs of Life. This is the one that has Rock Me Tonight. It's the big one that is on here. Of course, the track that kind of killed his career. All right, Beverly Hills Cop, original motion picture soundtrack. This one has Neutron Dance, Axel F, and of course The Heat Is On, Glenn Frey. So, a bit of Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop. All right, The Romantics, and In Heat. This is the one that has Talking in Your Sleep. Great track right there. So that is the first pile, the first stack. And I do have a second stack that I wanted to go through. So Music Talk with John, you're gonna like these. Got some Billy Joel, Cold Spring Harbor. Not familiar with this one. It's a bit of an older album. Cool stuff right there. And of course the Nylon Curtain, 1980s album there. And this one has Allentown, Pressure, Goodnight Saigon. Cool stuff. All right, we have the Tramps, classic disco right here, Disco Inferno. All right. Speaking of George Michael, we got some Wham. Yeah, Make It Big. This says Wake Me Up Before You Go, or Freedom, Careless Whisper. Cool. All right, some Don Henley, Building the Perfect Beast, Boys of Summer, Sunset Grill. Major singles on there. All right, if you are a Rolling Stones fan, we've got Some Girls. Of course, it's got the cool sleeve that comes out there. Bit of a seam split there, and then on the back side, it's almost like a 1960s magazine kind of ad there. So what was on this one? Miss You is the key track on there. Miss You. All right, Blue Oyster Cult. Unknown Origin. This is the one that has Burnin' For You on it. Burnin' For You, classic. All right, Fire of Unknown Origin. All right, I already have this one, but this was in great condition as well. Honeymoon Suite, self-titled. New Girl Now, Burning in Love, Wave Baby, Stay in the Light. Those are side one. Basically, side one is the main side. All right, this one here I've been wanting for quite some time. I never thought that I would find it, at least not for free. Tears for Fears, songs from the big chair. Everybody Wants to Rule the World and Shout. Those are the big ones. And then on side two, Head Over Heels. So yeah, a little bit of ring wear, but the vinyl itself is really good. All right, The Emotions. Best of My Love is on this one. Disco-ish music. Their album Rejoice. Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Took the words right out of my mouth. Bat Out of Hell. Can't go wrong with some Meatloaf. All right, we got some Chicago. I believe this is Chicago 6. So yeah, this is one of the earlier ones, shortly after they changed from the Chicago Transit Authority. All right, this one was a blind pick. Never heard of this, but I thought it was a pretty cool cover. But it is a group called Planet Earth. They do songs called Rocket Man, Space Boogie, Across the Universe, Telstar. Looks like more like space kind of music. So I'll have to check that out. Canada's very own Stompin' Tom and the album The Hockey Song. So as Canadians, we are well familiar with the hockey song. All right, this one, still sealed in shrink. Huey Lewis and the News, Small World. And this is the one that has Perfect World on it. Once again, still in shrink. Never been open. Queens, News of the World. Not going to go over too much of this, but you know it. It's got quite a few of the hit tracks. We'll Rock You and more. All right, Rod Stewart and Night on the Town, Tonight's the Night. That's the big one on here. First Cut is the Deepest is the other one. Let's see, what do we have here? We've got Alan Parsons Project and I, Robot. So kind of some experimental music. This one is a gatefold, of course, showing Alan Parsons himself. Another Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. And Do You Think I'm Sexy? It's the big one. Right, Best of the Doobie Brothers, China Grove, Taking It to the Streets, Blackwater. They're all on here. All right, a little Frank Zappa and Joe's Garage, Act 1. All right, a little bit of Max Webster and Mutiny up my sleeve. Brian from Embryonic Robot. You'll have to let me know what you think of this one. I'm not familiar with this particular Max Webster album. I know that you definitely have some knowledge on the Max Webster stuff. So let me know down in the comments there, Brian, what your thoughts are. All right, another Alan Parsons project. This one is Pyramid. Once again, experimental stuff. Pretty cool gatefold. Yeah. Hey, Thompson Twins, Into the Gap. This one has Hold Me Now on it. This one is covered in dust. I am going to have to clean that one off. All right, The Motels, Little Robber. This one was Suddenly Last Summer. Cool stuff. All right, the band Yes, Time and a Word. Right, Bryan Adams, Reckless, Summer of '69, Heaven, Run to You. Classic Canadian rock. All right, a couple of folk albums here. Valdi's Family Gathering. And this one has Rock and Roll Song on it. That's the big one. Definitely a Canadian icon in the folk category. Maybe not as much as Gordon Lightfoot, but on those means, and his Hot Rocks album. All right, if you are Canadian, you will know Doug and the Slugs, and this one has Shrink on it. This is the Tomcat Prowl album, and of course the title track, Tomcat Prowl, was the big one that was released here in Canada. All right, Styx, The Grand Illusion. This is the one that has Come Sail Away on it. All right. Bob Dylan's Desire. This one has Hurricane. All right, got some Eagles and Desperado. Title track was the big one that was on here. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors. The track That Smell, the big one. This one's got some serious ring wear, but once again, vinyl itself, not too bad. All right, Outside Inside by the Tubes. She's a Beauty, hit song. All right, The Worst of Jefferson Airplane, greatest hits compilation. White Rabbit, Somebody to Love. Those are the ones that are on here. All right, We Are Mandrill. I thought this was kind of a cool one. I believe it's more funk and disco. All right, this is Hot Butter. And this is a self-titled one, but this does not include their hit track, Popcorn. This is a totally different one, kind of an experimental band once again, Hot Butter. All right, this one here, Crowfoot. Now Rob from Northern Revolutions, I believe you've been talking about this band White Horse. Not sure of what this is, but it looks kind of cool. Thought I would pick it up. Looked interesting. Rob, if you have any insight on this one, please let me know in the comments below. Right, we're down to the last few here. We got some Toronto, and Get It on Credit. Your Daddy Don't Know is the big hit single on this one. Sweeney Todd. I believe this is a self-titled. Yep, self-titled. This one has Roxy Roller on it. Right, one hit wonder band OXO or OXO, and Whirly Girl was the one hit wonder single off of this one. 1980s music. Right, more psych music. We've got the Electric Prunes, I Had Too Much to Dream, Last Night. And last but not least, this particular album reminds me every time of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and this is Red Sovine's Phantom 309. Of course, I am referring to Large Marge, the truck driver, because Phantom 309 is exactly what that song is pretty much about. All right, so there we go. Those are my finds. I did pick up quite a few more, but these are the ones that I found to be the most interesting, and the ones that I thought were definitely going to be right up my alley. So in the comments section below, let me know what you thought of these pickups. What did you think of the tour of the radio station that I used to work in for a little bit, just doing some volunteering? Like I said, it was on Friday nights previous to COVID. And other than that, I will see you on the flip side. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Have a good one.